Welcome, one and all, to part 2 of my top 10 favorite figures of 2020. As of recording this, it's 2021. It is the new year, and I really hope this year is good. Goodbye, 2020. I will not miss you for anything. But yeah, this list is comprised of the Transformers that I got this year that I just figured were so good that they just had to be on this list. It was so hard to put these lists into just 10, so I had to split it into 20, except for an Instagram post that I did. I just took out some of them that I just didn't quite stick the landing for me if they were to make it into a top 10, because as you guys know, on Instagram you can only post 10 photos at a time, and I was too fucking lazy. But without further ado, let's get into the list. Coming in at number 10, we have the Transformers Netflix Impactor, and oh my god, I love this figure so much. He is so articulated, he's so chunky, he feels like almost like a Unicron trilogy figure. Like, this guy is sturdy. Like, nothing on this figure is going anywhere, except for the parts that do obviously detach. Like, that's my only problem. But all that being said, I just really, really, really like this figure. Coming in at number 9, we have the Transformers Studio Series Sentinel Prime. I custom painted mine. I do really like this figure. He is one of my favorite figures from Wave 9 of Studio Series, but he's not my favorite. That'll be later down the list. But I do like this figure, but I like him more now that I customized him. And I feel like if I never did that, he would probably not even make it into the top 15. And taking the number 8 spot, we have the Transformers Studio Series Jeep Bumblebee, Off-Road Bumblebee, whatever the fuck you want to call it, Blitzwing Fight Bumblebee, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is my favorite Bumblebee in my collection. I just love this figure. He's so articulated. Mine is a little on the loose side, but honestly, I don't really care. It doesn't take away from the fun factor of this figure. I did kind of sort of paint mine, like, right here and such, and I did dry brush him a little bit, and I did paint the gun barrel, but not enough to make me completely reconsider this figure if he wasn't painted. I did really enjoy this figure right out of the box, and I'm really glad that I did get this guy. Taking the number 7 spot, we have Transformers Leader Class 2007 Optimus Prime, and my god, this thing is my child. Yes. I love this figure a lot. I sound like I just came right there. But yeah, I adore this figure. He might be my favorite Optimus in my collection. I say might be because I really like Earthrise Prime, and I've had Earthrise Prime a lot longer than this guy, and Earthrise Prime is later down the list, but I just really like this figure. Posability wise, and just stop motions and such, Earthrise Prime is just one of my favorite figures of all time. But when it comes to what I like on a spiritual level, I guess, and what satisfies me, just when it comes to a big fucking chonky ass robot right here, is the oh fuck, no. Okay, it's just this figure. When I think of Transformers, I think of this kind of figure. Coming in at number 6, we have the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Dead End. Yeah, I had this figure back in the day. I really liked it. Mine, unfortunately, was lost to time, and I found a listing on eBay for about, like, I think $15 in box. And I'm so happy to have this figure back in my collection. This guy he's just one of the most posable deluxes that I have. I love this figure. He's one of the most expressive Decepticon figures, in my opinion, from anything ever, and I just fucking love this figure. And taking the 5th spot, we have the figure that earned me the most amount of video views on one video. I can tell you that. We have the Transformers Earthrise Blue Streak. And I will be posting a review for this guy eventually. I don't know, maybe, I don't fucking know, eventually, probably, maybe, I don't. But I just really like this figure. He is my introduction to the new Earthrise Prowl mold, or the Detsons mold in general, and I adore this figure. He's so posable. The alt mode is just so fun. It's just, Blue Streak is probably my favorite of the Detsons brothers. I just really, really like this figure, and I'm so glad that I found him. And taking the 4th spot on the list, we have the Transformers Studio Series Blitzwing. And I love this figure. He is my second favorite Studio Series. He is just fucking... yes, I love this figure. I am so glad that I picked him up. I'm so glad that I found him. I don't know what to think of the new upcoming Starscream. I will see, but as of right now, this figure is just... I don't know what to say. I really like it. I think what's been said about this figure are my feelings about it. Like, sure, there's some flaws, like the fucking chest and some tight joints and some overly loose joints, and these things falling off all the time, but even though those should be problems that drag this figure down exponentially, they're not. This figure just... I like Studio Series Blitzwing. And coming in at number 3, we have the most photogenic figure in my collection, Transformers Earthrise Optimus Prime. And what do I need to say that hasn't been said already? This figure is phenomenal. Oh my god, if you don't have this figure, first of all, get it. The Netflix one looks like shit. That's more than I can say for number 1 on this list. And I just... This guy... I really like this figure a lot. Earning the number 2 spot on this list, we have the Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Shockwave. This is my all-time favorite Studio Series figure. Like, this figure is just... yes. Everything about this figure, from the detail to the dry brushing to the satisfying... not satisfying, serviceable alt mode, I guess. The articulation, I don't even care that he's a partial remold to the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron from Studio Series. I just really don't care. I don't care that this thing is borderline rubber. All of these things that I just don't, that a lot of people really don't care for, that they consider flaws or nitpicks or whatever the fuck. I don't care about them because I love this figure to death. This guy might be the most fun I've had with a figure in, I'd say, ever. And I don't know what to say that hasn't been said already. I was gonna review this guy, but I went against it. I don't need to. I don't want to. There's a lot to talk about that I don't think my phone can handle, all of the impeccable awesomeness. But all in all, once again, I just love this figure. He is just... He's remarkable. And taking the cake for number 1 on this list, we have the Transformers Netflix War for Cybertron Voyager class Soundwave. And I missed out on the Siege version. I missed out on the Sound Blaster. Hopefully I can go back and get that. And when this figure was announced, I flipped my shit. I could not contain my excitement for this figure when it was announced. I knew I had to have it. I didn't know when it was coming out, but as soon as I saw it on the shelves, my heart skipped a beat. Like literally, I think I almost passed out. This figure has been... Also, he's extremely rare, as well as the Bumblebee, which I have on the shelf. These figures are just so rare, especially this guy in Bumblebee. Netflix, Alita, and Bumblebee and Impactor are all my favorite figures that I've gotten from Wave 2. In fact, I think they're my only figures that I've gotten from Wave 2, but I do really like all of them. And just, I will review this guy. I'm trying not to gush and seem like I'm being, like, really fucking annoying, but you gotta realize, this is stuff I'm talking about that I love. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. When you're talking about things that you love, you tend to get a little bit overexcited and a little bit overwhelming, obnoxious, and all that. But all that aside, all that blabbling and rambling aside, this figure is brilliant. I am so glad to own this figure. This is my only problem with him. Laserbeak won't stay on his fucking arm. And every figure has problems, so that's not really too much of a big deal. Okay, there we go. And I love this figure. I don't know what I don't know what more there is to be said than what I haven't spoken of and what reviewers haven't said. And I will elaborate a lot more in my review. Thank you guys so much for watching this video if you stuck all the way through. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you guys so much for a wonderful 2020 to the channel. Not so much in real life as I stated in the last video, but all that aside, all the hate aside, all the drama, all the bullshit. Thank you guys so much. This is the Nerd Isaac rolling out. I love you guys. Bye.